Hello, this is Daniel Raymond, the voice behind Ray's Guide. I am once again still on the road, so if you hear HVAC noise over there, barking dogs in the backyard, it's just part of visiting family and still trying to produce content. As I said yesterday, to 4.4 Evocati is still up and live and running pretty well. We did have some client crashes and server crashes, and sometimes where we had to Alt F4 backspace just to make a workaround to a problem. But other than that, it seems to be running well. And since my last video, I've been trying to test out ways in which you make money. And I'm not going to handle these in linear because that would be burying the lead. The final thing I tested out in making money in Nix was I fitted out a prospector and decided to go out exploring into the asteroids around Nix, and asteroids around Levki in Nix. And what I found pretty quickly is that the asteroids around Nix are dominated, at least at present, by two minerals, torite and lindinium. I'm sure some of you are saying, what are those? They are placeholders that have been in the database, but at least as of right now, there is no data on anyone buying or selling them. So it looks like Levki is the Verse's exclusive supplier of torite and lindinium. So I went and harvested up some of both of those. Also saw a little bit of quartz, but quartz is quartz. And then I took it back to Levki and went to the bottommost floor, which is where the refinery is, and tried to sell it. And they would not buy it. There was no price listed for it, which was disappointing. And then I tried to refine it, and there was no price to refine it, and no ability to refine it. So this is what you see in Evocati testing and early beta releases, that not everything makes it into the list, and not every thing that clearly a lot of components have to come together in order to make a planet like Nix. And not all of those teams are working at the same speed or getting their work submitted at the same timetable. And so apparently the team that creates the tables, that populates the asteroids, was ahead of the game, and the economy team that sets the prices was either slow or just their new tables hadn't gotten put into the build. So at least as of present, that doesn't represent a way to make money in Nix. But by the time it is released, it probably will. And it seems like Nix's reason for continuing to exist is the apparently exclusive accessibility to these two minerals, torite and lindinium. So that's going to be curious. Also, while I was out and about scanning for mining things, I did come across a fair number of ship scraps. And so apparently the other way that is viable right now in Nix and Evocati for making money as a game loop is the salvage game loop. Although that is the one game loop that people have been most complaining about in 4.3.2. In addition, of course, we've been having several troubles, just normal Evocati troubles. One of the most biggest nuisances of this Evocati so far is that the quantum marker for Levki is apparently invisible, which means that it's kind of hard to find your way back. Now, if you happen to manage to somehow get your quantum, your ship pointed exactly towards Levki, it will actually sense it and charge up and let you travel to Levki. But it's in the full 360s in both directions. Your chances of knowing exactly where to point are just about nil. So there have been some clever workarounds that people have been doing. They have been saying, make sure to party up with someone who is in Levski, and then you'll be able to see their party marker. They've been saying, accept a mission whose destination is Levski, and you'll be able to know which way to point. Except there's been some problems with with some of the missions, in that there's kind of a switcheroo. You'll pick a mission that says you're supposed to return this box to Levski, and in fact, when you accept the mission, the box is going to one of the jump point stations or something. And I've been seeing that across a number of different missions. There's the mission you think you're accepting and the mission you actually accept are two different things. Again, this is just an Evo bug. I have no expectation that that's going to be how it's going to remain forever. Well, the thing that I did as a workaround is I took one of my smaller ships and simply parked it on one of the external pads. And the larger external pads have elevators that take you right back to the station, to the internals. And so I parked it there, and then I had a ship marker that would tell me where to point my ship to get back to Levski. And that's how I was able to deploy to explore the asteroids and still be able to make my way back to home sweet home on Levski. As I said, I did try to test out the missions that are available, and there's not a lot of missions available. There is a few for the mercenaries of protect the ship convoy. There is an investigation mission, which is a return of an oldie, where you have to find the missing person. You go out, you find the wreck, you go out, you explore, you hit the F key on the body that's floating out there, and you complete the mission. And the third one is to retrieve cargo. That there's a wreck, you have to go out, find the eighth of a SCU box, carry it back to the destination. Those were all bugged in that none of them would accept the package back at home. I tried putting it on I tried multiple times with this. I tried putting it on the freight elevator, and it just took it down into the inventory. I tried to go to the old Kovalex delivery kiosks, and they did not recognize that I had a mission. So all of those in the current Evocati, I had to abandon. But it looks like they, hopefully in a fixed state, will be in the later testing stages and the final. I did see only one interstellar cargo mission. It was to take, it was low hundreds, I believe, SCU. So I was able to complete it easily in an Asgard. And I was to take it from Levski to the original description said I was supposed to take the new Babbage. Once I accepted the mission, loaded the cargo, and got going, it actually told me to take it to Area 18. Again, I'm seeing a lot of switcheroos after you actually accept the mission. I completed that mission, and it paid off. So it was one of the few missions that actually, so the missions that actually works in this Evo build are the interstellar cargo and the identify missing person. But the disappointing thing was that once I was in Area 18, there were no interstellar cargo missions available to take me back to Levski or anywhere in Nix or anywhere in any other system. So they haven't, so the missions work, but it doesn't look like they've yet completed the ability to fully populate the inventory of them, which is, kind of disappointing. You go a very long distance, and then you have no corresponding way to get back. In addition, the test mission in Evocati paid $63,000, I believe, which for the amount of time it took to actually travel to the jump point, through the jump point, and then to Area 18, was not a very good payoff per hour. Because it took close to a full hour to do all of that. But they are at least working, at least in one direction. And that is, those were the those are the only right out there in front ways of making money right now in NICS. But of course, at this point in Evocati, we're not trying to necessarily making money. We're testing. So my point in doing all this is not to suddenly get rich in Evo, but to see what is working and what still needs to be fixed in Evo. A little bit of a follow-up on what I said yesterday about the elevators functioning as the subway system. I looked a little closer. They're actually labeled as central lifts vertical people mover. So they aren't a tram, they aren't a subway, they're a vertical people mover. There are two of them, and this you will recall from the old Levki. There was also two then. Again, the lobby area of Levki looks like it's changed in the big picture very little. The one elevator is labeled with arrows in the down direction, and there are 4 levels to Levki: surface level, hangar level, barter level, and the lowest level is the refinery level. At least that's what I call them. They have other names. The one that's labeled with a down arrow goes from 4 to 3 to 2 to 1, and then back up to 4. So the down arrow, if you're picking it up the refinery, is going to in fact take you up all the way to the top. The other one, which is labeled with the up arrow, goes from 4 to 3 to 2 to 1, and then all the way back to 4. So they really are functioning much more like the subways. They're functioning in a loop. One's a forward loop, the other's a backwards loop. But the up and down arrows are only a correct indication 3/4 of the time, because when you're at the far end, you're not going up, you're not going down, you're going all the way to the other end. But once you get the hang of it, it makes a certain degree of sense. And those are the main things I learned from my second day of testing in Levki. I suspect tomorrow they will create another patch, and I suspect that patch will be based on the general level of stability and features. It will be a Wave 1 PTU. So I would, based on what I've seen, I don't see any. It's not a perfect build by any means. It's still an early PTU, but it's not so imperfect that I think it will stop them from going to Wave 1 PTU, because they're usually eager to get that level of additional workload onto the servers. And the servers were not crashing with such a frequency that I wouldn't see them not trying that, because that's in large part what they're trying to do. Hopefully with the next one, some more teams work we'll get into, and we'll start to see if torite and lindinium will have a refinery value and a ore value, and we can start to get an idea of what and also where we'll buy torite and lindinium elsewhere in the verse. So we'll start to get a notion of where NICS fits into the verse in terms of economic production and revenue. Because right now, as I said in my last video, it's a lot of nice things to see in Levki, but not so much of things to do, and particularly profitable things to do. But again, all of this is going to change as we get further along into Evocati. And I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to really playing in this new world, even though it's a small one. So fly safe, keep it real, and I'll see you in the verse. And expect to be into the PTU even the later waves, probably by a week from now is what I would be expecting. And the secret word for this video is the actual official name of the main elevators in NICS. Fly safe, keep it real, and I'll see you in the verse. This is Daniel.